Hey guys, it's Kim. Welcome. We have a short flow today that is going to get a bit into the legs, especially the outside leg line, lengthening and strengthening as well. And of course, that ties slightly into the whole side body. If you want the full length version, I've got those on my website, kimpyoga.com. But if you've just got a little bit of time, hopefully this feels awesome. We will want some sort of a prop today. I've got a block. I'm a cork block fan, but an Nalgene bottle or the couch, if you set yourself upright, or a pile of books will help. So grab what you need and let's get ourselves in a seat on the mat. We won't spend terribly long here, but I do think it's always important to fully arrive for your practice, especially if you've been sort of running around frenetically through the day and your mind is elsewhere. So the seat itself doesn't matter as long as it's comfortable. So on your knees, cross-legged, on your prop, on your couch. Go and close your eyes. And just begin watching the breath. Maybe notice it on the nostrils. Notice it down through the throat. Begin to notice it in the upper chest. Wherever it touches, letting that space expand a little bit more. Notice it in the upper back, in the mid-back, even the low back. Letting the exhales get bigger and letting the inhales fill you up completely. Throughout your movement, keep coming through to your breath. Let it guide you, let it create space, let it ground you. Next inhale, just extend the arms out to the sides and then reach them overhead in whatever manner feels right. And then exhale, bring the hands to prayer at the chest, just sealing here, committing to being present. Let the eyes flutter open. Good. Let's find tabletop. Just a little bit of warm-up movement. We'll start with the wrists. So tabletop has wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. And go and get strong through the fingers. And just circle around over the wrists. Maybe switch directions. Maybe start to change the direction of the hands, move them out to the sides or move them backwards. And then let's get into the spine. We have honking cars and barking dogs. I'm sure there are distractions in your own house. Any sort of cat-cow. Let the breath bring you back onto your mat. Bring some lateral movement into your spinal movement. So that, by which I mean get into the side body. So that can be very simple. That can be side bends, or it can be a little bit more dynamic, sort of barrel rolls, taking this in kind of a three-dimensional type of matter, but there's not a right or wrong as long as the breath is going. Good. Come to center here, neutral spine. Wrap the eyes of the elbows forward, lift up some through the heart, protract the shoulders, knit the core in a little. Extend the right leg behind you with the little toes on the earth here, and then slide the toes all the way out to the left here. So it kind of goes cross body And just get a little lateral bend. And then come back to center, right toes behind you. Keep circling them around toward the top of your mat. If you need to tent the fingers, no problem here. Pause here with the right foot a little towards the top of your mat, but on the right side. And think about lengthening the tailbone back and then release that. Lengthen the tailbone back and release that. 2 more. Lengthen back, release, lengthen back, release. Tent the fingers if you haven't. Open the back of the heart. Pluck up the right foot. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Release. Swivel, spin, however you think about it. This right foot back behind you. Right knee down. Tabletop 1 cat-cow. Or cow-cat. Either order. Extend the left toes behind you, left leg, all the little toes on the ground, and then slide the toes over to the right side of the mat behind you, and you can kind of kick the left side body off to the side. Just take a breath into that side body. And then come back around with those little left toes. We're tracing a whole circle, not the entire circle, but a big chunk of it until the left foot gets facing the top of the mat just over to the left side of the mat. You can have flat palms or tented fingers, but we'll think about extending the sit bones behind us, like we're kind of trying our tush backwards, and then release that. Extend, release. It's a subtle movement. Extend, release. We're exploring our mobility. Extend, release. Tent the fingers if you haven't. Open the back of the heart. Lift up out of the shoulders. Engage the core. Lift this left leg up and hold it. For 3. Keep breathing. 2, 1. Good. Release it down. Bring this all the way around behind you. Back to tabletop 1 cat-cow. Or cow-cat. Good. Lift your way up onto the knees here. Let's pluck the right leg up and step it out in front of us. So we're find a little low lunge with the right foot out in front of us. Go ahead and really sink the hips forward. Top of the left foot on the ground here. Sprinkle the fingertips down onto the earth. Pull the right hip back some so they're a little more even. Press into the top of the right foot. Lift the back knee. Good. Now you can stay here. Try to keep that left ankle relatively neutral. You can stay here or find a little strength in the legs. Keep the torso low, but float the hands up. Reach the arms forward, palms down. Circle around, reach the arms behind you, palms down. Forward, and then behind you, shoulder blades drag down when you go back. Forward, back, forward, back. Lower the left knee down. Extend the right leg here. Pick up those right toes towards you and hinge down. So the sit bones are going back, but the low belly is engaged and we're melting down just a little bit. Play with this right foot. So that can mean anything, right? Interlace your little fingers in between your toes. Press it forward, pull it back, bring it to the side. Explore it and notice what it does in the rest of your leg. How does that relate to your calf, to your thigh, to your hip? Good. Bend the right knee, tuck the left toes, lift the back knee, lift the torso up. Deep bend in the left knee. Gather the low belly in, lengthen the tailbone down. Bring the palms together. Reach the arms overhead. Now, if your shoulders got angry, split the palms. That's not a problem. We're bending the elbows. So the hands come to the nape of the neck, or they can be a little wider. Deep bend in the left knee. 1 breath here. And then extend the left leg. Extend the arms. Lift the heart up. Bend the elbows and knee, knit the ribs. Extend extend elbows and knee. Oof, lift the heart up. Bend elbows and knee, knit the ribs. Extend, lift up, and then sprinkle the hands down. Grab your block or whatever you've got, the edge of your couch. Extend the right leg here. Shine the sit bones back. So if that got tricky, you bring the hands higher and then lift the right toes up. Good. If this is a lot, you tap the right toes down and lift, and you do repeats. But if your body's okay to hold it, think about shining the sit bones back as you gather through the low belly and level the hips and begin to melt down. Belly towards thigh. Chair pose. Set the right foot down, step the left foot up to meet the right foot. Bend the knees, reach the arms forward to start. Lengthen the tailbone down, gather through this core. Fire through the legs here. If you want to start to reach the arms up by the ears, that's fine. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. That's simple. And then let's find a little twist. Sink lower. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Ring out through the spine here. Trying to leave the hips roughly behind the knees. That's just going to send the twist into the spine. Good. Unfurl, power into the legs. Lift up to standing. Shift the weight into the left foot. Lift the right leg up. Let's take a big step back. So soften the left knee, step the right foot back, warrior two. Spin the right heel down, open up. Now in our warrior two, I often see sort of the tush run away behind us and the chest spill forward. Let's gather in through the low belly, lengthen the tailbone down and knit the ribs in, and then we can lengthen up, up, up. Feel that sense of getting taller and letting the head float. Straighten the left leg. Kick the right toes in at about a 45. Bend the right knee, hinge forward at the hips. You can leave the left toes facing the top of your mat or angle them to the side, whatever's more comfortable. Fire through the right hip here. Use the power of the leg. We're going to hold this for another moment or two. Spin around to the back of your mat. Circle around, sprinkle the fingertips, plant the hands, step the right foot back to meet the left. High plank here. And just hold it for a second. Gather through the really deep low belly, lift up out of the shoulders. The neck should be free here. It's not doing the work. The core and the legs are. Good. Lower the knees down. Bring your way up to standing on the knees. Shift the weight into the right foot. This left leg's got to come up this time. Pluck it up. So just pick one point to look at. Step the left foot forward. Lovely. From here, go ahead and melt the hips pretty deeply forward. Top of the right foot is on the ground here. And then you can sprinkle the fingers down onto the earth and lift up the right knee. So you'll notice if this side feels different. Often they do. Try to pull the left hip back some so that we're level in the hips. And if this is a lot in any part of the body, use the hands to assist you. Or if you want, you'll plug in to like the core, legs, and the pelvic floor, and you'll lift the hands up, but you can leave the torso pretty low here. Find the breath. Remember, it's the most important thing going on. Sprinkle the fingers back down. Lower the right knee down. Extend the left leg here. We'll pick up those left toes, and we're going to play around with that foot. So if you liked, interlace the little fingers, in between the toes, and then move things around. Move the foot around. See how it relates to to the whole leg and how that relates to the hips. Good, release the foot. So the left foot down, tuck the right toes, pluck up the right knee, lift the torso. We've got a little lunge going on, a high lunge. Bend the right knee so that we can lengthen the tailbone. Arms overhead, maybe palms press, maybe they don't, but we'll bend the elbows and bring the hands roughly to the nape of the neck. Our ribs are knitted in here. So there's a lot of openness going along right on this line here. And then extend the elbows, extend the right leg, lift the hips up. Bend the elbows, bend the knee, knit the ribs. Extend elbows and knee, lift the heart up. Bend, extend, lift the heart. Bend elbow and knee. Extend, lift the heart up. Good. From here, bow down. You'll probably want your little prop here. Straighten the left leg. Pluck up the left toes. Pull this left hip back in space. So we're thinking belly to thigh. We're thinking about shining those sit bones backward. We're starting to melt in. Remember, if you're stuck, you just move around. We may have done this side in a different order. I'm really not sure, but we'll get everything involved. Plant the sole of the left foot. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Chair pose. Ground into the feet. Bend the knees. Sweep the arms forward or overhead, but plug in here. Get a little bit lower. Good. Hinge lower, twist to the left, right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, roughly leaving the hips behind the knees. Legs can be together or apart. But if they're apart, keep the knees in line with the hips and the ankles. Don't let them collapse toward each other. Unfurl, raise up to standing. Shift the weight into the right foot. Pluck up this left leg. We're going warrior two. Soften the right knee. Shoot this left leg back. Sprinkle those little toes down. And then sprinkle the heel down. Open it up. Adjust as you need. The left toes follow that hip point, so they can angle in a little bit. The right knee is as bent as it'll agree to go. And then we plug in low so that we can lengthen and kind of float here. Straighten the right leg. Kick the left heel in or the left toes out, however you want to think about it. Bend the left knee, hinge at the hips. Right toes can face forward, or the side of your mat, or somewhere in between, whatever feels right. Plug in to this left hip. So now the tush is not sticking out behind you, it's plugged in. And we're just holding it here. Keep with the really full breath. Good. Spin around. To the top of your mat, we're back at the front. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Either hold a high plank or take a couple of push-ups. If you're doing push-ups, when you come up, wrap the eyes, the elbows forward, open or protract the shoulders. Good. Let's lower the knees down. Come on back in. We'll go through this once more. Let's take a small counter here. Hands on the low back. Fire the glutes to press the hips and just roll the shoulders back. Nothing too intense. Come back to center by knitting the front body. Lateral bend. Right arm up, palm faces center line. Go up and over to the right. Collapse the right ribs down, so close off. And then open up. Do that a couple times. Close off. Open up. Close off. Open up. And then come back to center. Other side. Left arm up. Palm faces center line. Press hips forward. Up and over to the right. Left ribs. They close off so you kind of collapse down. And then you open up towards the left, and then close off, open up, close off, open up. Good, come to center, lift back up. Right foot's going in front of you. Pluck up the right leg, step it forward. Deep bend in the right knee, top of the left foot on the earth if that works for you. Belly on thigh, hug this right thigh, pluck up the left knee here. Lower the left knee down, tuck the back toes, lift the left knee up, extend the right leg. I'm still hugging the thigh. So you'll notice in my body I still have a bend in the right knee. That's okay. And just breathe here for a moment. You can shimmy the hips around a little bit. Think about gathering a bit in through the low belly and maybe pulling this right hip back in space. Release your hug. Extend the right knee all the way. Pluck up the right toes. Grab hold of your prop or set yourself up near your couch. All right. Pay a little attention. This one gets confusing at first. We will twist tie our legs, just like the little twist tie you use to close bread. I think it's called a twist tie. That's what we're doing. So I'm on my left toes and my right heel. I'm going to start to spin to the right side of my mat. So think about your torso in your hands with your prop going just to the right side of your mat. And now my feet are going to follow. So the pinky toe side of both feet will come to the earth. I'm on the knife edge of the foot. And if that just got crazy intense, you heel toe the feet a little bit closer together to try to extend the right knee. And now bring the torso to center. So you're coming straight out from the legs. Straighten the right knee as much as it'll agree to and start to bow down. There's a good chance you're feeling something. Breathe into it. If you don't need your prop, you can get rid of it. So my right leg is in front of my left leg. My thighs are touching the back of my right thigh and the front of my left thigh. And I'm on the knife edge of my feet. Another couple of breaths here. Think about breathing into that whole right hip. Good. Unfurl back to the top of the mat. You can leave your block here for later for the next side. Unfurl to the top of the mat. Step the left foot up to meet the right. Find your chair pose, deep bend. And then in your chair pose, let's go further low. Let's hinge more. So we've got belly on thigh. Come up on the right toes. Yeah, that's what I want. And hug this right thigh again. Shift the weight into the left foot. You got to fire that left glute. See if that right foot will get light. And then lift up to this standing balance where I'm hugging the right thigh into the chest. Think about lengthening the tailbone down, lengthening the right hip down. Keep the right leg right arm where it is. Release the left hand. Grab the outside of the right foot with the left hand. And now kick the right foot forward. Release the thigh. Reach the right arm behind you. Oh, yeah. You can have a bend in your knee, or you can straighten it. Doesn't really matter. But pull the right hip down to the earth. One more breath. We're going to that sort of surfers or that side squat. So release the right foot, slice it behind you, soften the left knee so the right toes land to the earth. Kick the right heel down, kick the right toes out, bend the right knee, lift these left toes up, go nice and low, and then use the power of the legs to lift up. Left foot down, let's go the other side. Bend the left knee, extend the right leg. Hold here. Now, if your left heel is up, or if this is just uncomfortable and terrible, lift up a little bit higher. Breathe here for another moment. Wide-legged forward fold. Extend the left leg. All those little toes face the side of the mat. Shine the sit bones up, spill down. We won't be here terribly long. Place the left knee on the earth. So walk the hands back, plug up the left foot, place the left knee down. Nothing too crazy. This is where if your couch might get a little tall, but a stack of books or something will work. You're going to place it under the right foot. So my left knee is going to be under my left hip. I'm hinged forward at the hips. My hands are on the earth. That's like a tabletop. Pluck up the right leg. Put the arch side of the foot on your prop. If you need to readjust, do so. And we're melting. We're just breathing here. Some of you will end up down on the forearms. Some of you will not. There is no goal except to encourage the right hip to release a little bit more. Tell it it's okay. And then coming back up onto the hands or the fingertips. Since we released, we need to engage. So we're firing through all this goodness we have on the outside of our legs. We're going to lift the right leg up, hold it for a second. We're going to come forward, tap the earth, tap the prop, tap behind us, prop forward, prop back, prop. So that's the rhythm. We'll do a few of those. Gather through the core, lift, protract the shoulders. That's where our planks are going to come in handy. Fire through the right leg, lift the right knee up, hold, 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 hold. The whole leg, that is. Come forward, tap the earth. Lift, tap the prop. Lift, tap behind you. Lift, tap the prop. Lift, tap forward. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap behind you. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap forward. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap behind you. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap forward. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap behind you. One more. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap forward. Lift, tap prop. Lift, tap behind you. Lift, tap prop. Now bring the heel to the prop with the little toes up. Just a slightly different. If you need to adjust the stance some, you can. And just play around with this. So you can sit back. You can move forward. You can hold still. Good. Let's try to get that foot off. So if it's struggling, maybe you tent the fingers. Plug in. Your body can do this. Plug in. Lift. Woo. Set it down. Shimmy the hips out. And then let's spin around to the top of your mat. You know you're going to want the prop, so set it off to the side. Pluck up your plank. You can hold a plank, or you can play with your push-ups. Remember, knees down push-ups with the tailbone scooped are awesome. Don't act like they're wimpy. They're super great strength builders. Good. Knees down if they're not already. Walk the hands up. Last time through. Come up 2 on the knees. Let's open up that side body once again. Reach the right arm up, palm faces center. Go up and over to the left. Now you've been here. You get to do whatever you want here. Bend an elbow, open up, close off. Use the right side body to lift your way up to center. Release the right hand down. Left arm up, palm faces center. Up and over to the right. And again, whatever you want here. This is your body, your breath, your time. Engage the left side body. Oof, lift it up. Shift the weight into the right shin. This left leg's going in front of us. Pluck it up. Step it forward. Top the right foot on the ground. Melt the hips. Belly on thigh. Hug this left leg. Press into the top of the right foot. Lift that knee up. We need some strength in the hips here. Good. Lower the right knee down just to tuck the back toes, and then re-lift the right knee and start to extend the left knee. Keep the belly on the thigh, so this does not have to be a full extension. I've still got a bend in my knee. No problem. Just think about yourself here and what your body needs, and think about encouraging the left hip backwards. So you can shimmy around, you can find something and hold it. We're playing a little with balance here too, so don't get too stressed out if you fall down. Good. Release the hug. Fully extend the left knee, pluck up the left toes. We're going to our twist tie. So bring the hands over to the left, grab hold of your prop, or readjust so you're next to the couch. Spin around, so now the thighs touch, the legs touch. We're twist tying together. We have pinky toe side of both feet on the earth. You need to scooch them a little closer, that's cool. And then walk the hands so the torso is coming straight out from the center here. And we go inward. The breath helps us do that. It helps focus our awareness. It helps create space. So once you begin to go inward, you can make your own decisions. Do you still need the prop? Does your left leg want to be bent? Do your feet want to readjust? Once you've got some of that, layer on letting go a bit here. Know that you're safe. Let's go back around to what's currently the top of our mat. What started as the back of it. Unfurl back around. Plant the sole of the left foot. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Chair pose. Bend the knees. Land here for a second. Fire the glutes. And then hinge the hips. Belly on thigh. We're hugging this left leg just like we did. So come up on the left toes. Hug under that thigh with both arms. And start to shift the weight into the right foot. Fire the right glute and the right leg. Get light on those left toes. Keep the belly to thigh connection and lift up to standing. Just find standing. Find that balance. Leave the left arm where it is. Finagle the right arm out of this. Grab the pinky toe side of the left foot with the right hand. And now we'll start to extend this left leg forward. And then we'll add that little twist. Reach the right arm behind us. Open the heart towards the side of your mat. Left knee can be straight or bent. Right knee can be straight or bent. But think about lowering the left hip down towards the earth so we get a little bit more of that length out of the side body. And then we're going to slice it back all the way to skanda, or your surfer's pose, or your side squat, whatever you want to think about it as. Find the power of the legs. Release the foot. Slice the left leg all the way behind you. Sprinkle the toes down. Now open up, sprinkle the heel down. Those left toes angle towards the top of your mat. Bend the left knee. Maybe lift the right toes. Go nice and low. Now plug in. Lift the hips. Other side. Right toes are angled out. Heel stays down. Bend the right knee. Maybe you lift the left toes. I cue heel on the earth because it's much more honest with our hip mobility here. If you're struggling with that, you just lift up out of it some. Breathing here for just another moment. Wide-legged forward fold. Not for terribly long. Power the legs, lift the tush up, all the little toes. Angle towards the side of the mat. Shine the sit bones up and back. Bow down. Any arm variation that speaks to you. Right knee down. Walk the hands back. Plug up the right foot. Plop the right knee down. So that's kind of your tabletop S shape. Hands are also tabletop-esque under the shoulders. Grab your block or whatever prop you found around the house or wherever you are. Plug up this left leg, arch side of the left foot on the prop. If you need to readjust your spacing, you can. So from this tabletop position, this left leg's out to the side, and we're releasing it right now. It doesn't have to do anything. Let yourself breathe and melt down into this. If you end up on the forearms, great. Nothing to do but be right here, knowing that you're safe, allowing everything around the left hip to release. Let's make our way back up onto the hands if you ended up somewhere else. Remember, at any point we can tent the fingers, we can adjust where that right knee is. We're gonna start to plug in a bit, and now we're gonna have to fire the outside of this left leg. So sometimes it helps to wake it up a little. All that stuff, it's gonna work for us. Find the strength in the hands, protract the shoulders, knit the core. Remember, we're tapping, we're lifting to hold, then tap forward, center, back, center. We'll do some repeats. So plug in, lift this left leg straight up, hold it, and then come forward, tap, lift, tap the block, lift, tap behind, lift, tap the prop, lift, forward, prop, back, center, forward, center, back, center, forward, center, back, center, forward. I forgot to count. Center, back. We'll do a few more. Forward, center, back, center, forward. Last round. Center, back, center, forward, center, back. And then center, and let's bring the heel to the to whatever you've got going on here. Adjust any little things you need. Just opening up through a slightly different route. You can go forward or back or whatever speaks to you. Lovely. Tent the fingers. Oof, lift this back up. Step the knees together. And let's find our way here to seated, just for a couple little wrist rolls. We'll start to close down. Good. All right. So the last pose we'll do is a seated pose where we'll get into the outside of the hips a little, and then we'll totally be done. This is another place where sitting on something like a pillow stack or a block can be really good. So you may want to start sitting there up on something. We're going to cross the legs and stack the right knee on top of the left, and the feet are out to the sides. So if you can do that easily without the block, that's fine. And this is not just about flexibility or mobility, you guys. It's also about hip shape. So really do be okay with where your body is. If this right knee wants to be way over to the side, again, you can put something underneath of it. And then you can stay up straight, or you can hinge belly on thigh. And after you've done that, at the last moment, just soften. Return to the breath. The arms can go anywhere that feels good. Think about breathing into the upper back, into the lower back, into the mid back, into the hips.
I'll move us on. If you want to be here longer, please feel free to. You can always pause the video. But if you've got other things lined up in your day, go ahead and roll your way back up. If you need a little neck or shoulder circle, take it. We'll do the other side. And the other side can be simple. You can just flip the legs around. Or, since we've already been on knife edge of the feet, flex the feet, knife edge of the feet, sprinkle the fingers in front of you, shift the weight forward so the butt comes up, and now lift the knees up. I know, we're basically where we were earlier, and now you start twisting. Now, your body will only twist one way. So if you're going nowhere, it's because you're twisting the wrong way. Go the other way. And keep twisting. You'll end up facing the back of your mat. Do not stop. Keep twisting. Yeah, the feet move around. Keep twisting. You're back in your twist high. And now the opposite. The knees go down. The butt goes down. Butt can go on something. Pillows, your doggo, whatever's nearby. Your left knee can go on something. Or the knees can stack and the butt can go on the earth. You can sit upright. And if you want to fold forward, not your ego, if your body wants to fold forward, belly on thigh. And then we melt. No matter where you landed, this is your spot for the next few breaths. So find an ease in it. Find a peace in it. Use the breath to create space throughout the shoulders, the whole back body, the low back, and the hips. If you took longer on the other side, take longer here. This is a lovely place to be. But if you're moving on, roll or lift your way up if you bowed down. We have one last stop. We have to unfurl onto our backs. So uncross the legs. Set yourself up so that you can roll down to laying on your back body. There's a million ways to do Savasana, you all. You can do it soles of the feet on the ground and the knees touching. If you're next to the couch, scooch up to it and put your shins up there. It feels really nice. You can extend your legs on the floor. If the arms are by the sides, go palms up. That's going to be nice for the shoulders. But if you want to close down, you can do palms down on you. Close the eyes. Notice the solidity of the ground beneath you. And let yourself feel supported by it. And let yourself surrender down into it. Some of us love Savasana. This will be easier for you all to stay here for a while. Some of us struggle with Savasana. Know that it has just as much benefit as everything else we do, if not more. Encourage yourself to feel safe here, to feel at peace here. And if you have it in you, please spend a few minutes just letting everything you've done marinate in, creating a bookend to your practice before you go out into the world. Thank you guys for joining. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. Peace for the body, peace for the mind, and peace for the spirit.